I thought this, yeah, there we go. That's working. Okay, yep. Just needs to be pretty close. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sunday guided meditation at Cittaviveka Buddhist Monastery. We can begin with the evening chanting in Pali, which is found on page 18 of the dark brown chanting book. Yoso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Swakato Yena Bhagavata Dhammo Supatipano Yasa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Dhammayang Bhagavantang Sadammang Sasangang Imehi Sakarehi Yatarahang Aropitehi Abhipujayama Sadhuno Bante Bhagava Suchira Parinibutopi Pachima Janatanukampa Manasa Ime Sakare Dugatapana Garabute Patiganhatu Amhagangde Garatang Itaya Sukhaya Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Andamayang Buddhasa Bhagavato Pubabhaganamakarang Karomase Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. And now we can chant the reflection on universal well-being in English on page 41. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heir.
Thank you, Ajahn Kachana, for leading the chanting. I'm a little short of breath at the moment, so I couldn't quite do it. But being short of breath for health reasons is quite a blessing, because I noticed that our physical energy is very much dependent on the breath, and the breath is very dependent on the physical energy. So I had plenty of opportunities to watch how the breath is unfolding and how it's influencing the body, and I would like to share a bit about that. I had a look at the Anapanasati Sutta, the different steps of mindfulness of breathing. And I wouldn't want to make it so technical and be fully systematic with the whole sutta, but the Buddha actually points very clearly out that when we set the mindfulness or awareness on the breathing, we can get a very clear sense of what is going on all levels of the body and how that is connected with the breathing. So in order to meditate, you don't need necessarily to sit for hours. You can just do it wherever you are, whether you are sitting, or whether you are lying down, or whether you are standing, whatever your posture is, whatever the body allows you to do. But one thing is quite important, that we notice how much our ability to sit upright or to keep ourselves upright, even when we are lying, to be pretty much it's not upright, it's parallel to the ground somehow. We can develop an awareness how to make inner space for the breathing, and awareness of how the inner well-being is depending on making this space. And it's not anything which is, just pull your shoulders back and your spine up. Well, we try not to lean back if we can physically. Some people need to lean, but it's much easier to breathe when we sit upright with a free back, even if it may not be quite upright in the beginning, but then the breath can actually help us slowly to make inner space so that the body the lungs can fill and stretch out. And it's not anything we do willfully, it's something when we allow that to happen, it will happen. So, for now I would like to, most of you I see most of you who are here in the hall have their hands somewhere in the lap or on the knees. I would encourage you to put actually one hand on your belly, somewhere where the navel is a little bit below, and without even thinking about in-breath and out-breath, just feel how the belly is moving, indicating an inner filling, breathing in, making space, expanding. And then contracting, breathing out. So the belly is not the lungs. So the belly is influenced by the movement of the lungs, or more precisely by the movement of the solar plexus. Which is an interesting word because it contains solar, that's the sun. So that the solar plexus is attached somehow to the lower ribs, and is a membrane which kind of is pushed, is a membrane, is a muscle which is pushing down with the in-breath to make space for the lungs, and then pulling up, contracting with the out-breath to allow the breath to flow out. And this is going on our whole lifetime. And when our solar plexus is working in a balanced and kind of, although we speak of contracting and expanding, there's something like a harmony, or can be something like a harmony and ease with this movement. And as you all know, when you are in stress, somehow we are often not even breathing deeply. We're just holding everything to push whatever we want to do through. And the attention is going out to there, but we are not here. We are not feeling actually. We are not in our center. So mindfulness of breathing is a wonderful meditation to come back to the core of our physical and emotional and mental being, and practice in a way where they can align and harmonize. So when you put the hand on your, just below the navel, you will feel quite clearly, even with layers of robes, how the belly is slightly bulging out and then contracting again. And if you do that, do it without any intention to be this or that or the other. Just allow your hand to feel what's going on inside. There may be also thoughts, but if you could make a conscious decision not to follow thoughts as much as possible, so as soon as you notice that the attention is drawn towards thoughts, so this is following thinking, can I come back to the feeling of my hand, the expansion and contraction of the belly. And you may notice that when you become comfortable with this attention and soft feeling, that suddenly there may be a deep breath. So the breath may deepen because it's relaxing. Cats would start to purr. So something in you is starting to purr when this simple rhythm of life can unfold and be noticed. And in the reflections, the beginning of the reflections on universal well-being, we chant, "May I abide in well-being." So this is a kind of well-being. We also call this membrane diaphragm. And when you breathe like this, you may notice that even although it's expanding and contracting, it can relax in that movement. It's flexible. It's not in a state of ongoing contraction. And you may also notice that with the out-breath, you can let go of holding. So something is sinking to the ground. Some weight is sinking to the ground. We carry around so much holding and weight and feel heavy from that. And when we can let go like this, it's enjoyable. It's a relief, a release. And the body awards that with a deeper breath. Finally, you can breathe freely. and you can enjoy the breathing. So there's an emotional tone to it. So even when we have pain, we can make, when we have this experience, we can, I wouldn't even say make an effort. In a way it's effortless. Usually when we have pain, the attention is attracted by the pain, and then everything in us wants to get away from the pain, do this and do that and the other, and we just get completely fixated on the pain and hypnotized by the pain. And actually it becomes stronger. If we don't see pain as a problem, but if we can breathe into the area which is tense or painful without trying to change anything, just a sympathetic, empathetic breathing into that stressed and more painful area. It's even compassion, you know. May this area abide in well-being. So then we don't focus on the problem, we focus on the first signs of well-being. Even focused may be too strong. We notice and we rejoice in this little well-being. And then when we rejoice in it, it naturally becomes a bit stronger. So the awareness is embracing both the pain and the well-being. But the pain, we can only focus on one thing. And when we move our attention towards the well-being, the pain becomes naturally. It disappears into the background. And when the body relaxes, then there is actually less pain. So you may not be in a state where you feel pain, but you may be in a state where you feel tension, and you can observe that when you rejoice in this little relaxation, which you can feel with the out-breath, and if you rejoice in the tenderness of the in-breath, all the reasons for the body to become tense is dissolving. The reasons for pain are dissolving to a certain degree, and you're not getting hooked by it. And if you keep your hand if you're keeping your hand lying slightly, lightly on the belly still now, I would like you to observe something new. So when you breathe out, and don't think of breathing in. At the end of the out-breath, there's a softening. The out-breath in itself is connected with we say tightening of the diaphragm. Pulling upwards. And then there's a moment, I don't know whether you can notice that, where the diaphragm relaxes in this pause between in and out breath. It contracts, and then it's getting released, and you're still breathing out, or only very subtle. So that's kind of surprising that at the end of the out-breath, the belly comes slightly forward already, and then the in-breath starts. And I would, even if it's just a thought for now, I would encourage you to stay with this turning point and really enjoy this pause of relaxation and, the first dawn of getting wider again. Opening. And that initiates the in-breath. And don't force it. Let it just rise like the sun is rising. you get a feeling for that, you can just let your hand sink into the lap or on your knees. And then just be with this rising and setting. Let the inner sun system breathe yourself. There's nothing to do. Maybe just to become aware of it and deeply enjoy it. when you grant yourself this experience of letting your breath, the movement of your breath, find its own freedom and radiance, then you are at least temporarily unable to activate any hostility or ill will or even anxiety. You can breathe through all that, even if roots of that should arise. Once you get a real sense of the freedom of that joy, not holding on to it, just it's naturally there and expanding. The problems fade. And you can even spread it to others who may go through affliction, hostility, ill will, anxiety. When the breath is generating this openness and radiance in the heart, it's contagious. It's healing. And it's even not self, because there's no door. There's only, the door is stepping out of the way. And there may be gratitude, there may be growing faith that it's possible. When we read the verses of the Anapanasati Sutta, the sutta on the mindfulness of breathing, it goes through all these stages, but we read it as concepts. And then the concepts can easily get in the way of experiencing it, because the mind is too hooked on expectation. So your hand on the belly is helping you to get out of the head and really give yourself the warmth and the sensitivity to connect with what is happening and when the breath connects with that kind of support, then things can unfold. So I think I need to slowly come to a close. And when I open my eyes, I still have my hand now on my belly, and that helps me to stay with the breath and with a joyful feeling. And I hope you have you've got a sense for that and feel encouraged to explore that more on your own. I refrain from reading the verses of the Anapanasati Sutta, but just this book is lying in the back of the Dhamma hall, Breathing Like a Buddha. And feel free to take a copy if you don't have it already. And feel free to read it. Pretty much in the beginning, Ajahn Suchithurst has written the whole Anapanasati Sutta in Pali and in English. And you have all these stages, but we make a kind of mental construct out of it, and that is easily in the way of the breath. But it's sometimes good to read it because we can think, oh God, that's just the breath, but let's go to the real thing. The real thing is in the breath. So, thank you for listening, and thank you for allowing me to sit upright without pain, because it's magic. So, Ajahn Katana, I think at the moment I can even dare to chant because my breath will flow better than it was in the beginning. So, let's chant another. Let's chant. The suffusion with the divine abidings in English. That is page 43. And again, that is quite a technical language, but the process is the same if we use the breath to abide 1/4 and a second and a third and a fourth with loving kindness. That's not technical. And then compassion and empathetic joy, or gladness it says here, and then with equanimity. So, I chant this way. Now let us make the four boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with compassion. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with compassion, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with gladness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with equanimity. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. The closing homage in Pali is on page 28. Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka